know how I feel. I feel strange. I'm excited. I'm nervous.
This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We went to Ruppichteroth to witness Stolpersteine being placed in front of the home where my dad was raised.
When I read about Gunther putting down the Stolpersteins all over Europe, I was just amazed. That's the whole thing about one person, the change that one person can make.
The artist who started, they're called Stolpersteine, which means a stumbling stone in German. His purpose was to say that Jews once lived among us. And I think 13 are being laid, one at our grandparents' home.
Hello, I'm Wolfgang.
Hi!
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hi. Hello, I'm Ron.
Hello. Okay, now for your information about the program, I am in charge of everything. Yeah. First, we go to Ruppichteroth, and I'll show you the houses. I hope so.
You know, you have this like whole picture of the Holocaust, and you have it on a grand scale. But I think it's just even more important to learn specific stories and specific incidents to make it more real, because it's so large that it's 6 million. It's so large. What's 6 million? But one story, one person. That's what I think brings it home, brings it real.
Why did we go to Ruppichteroth? I didn't feel that I could not go in the end. When my sister wrote and told me what was happening, I thought I couldn't resist this chance of seeing how my dad, where he was raised, how his mom and dad lived. I just this would be probably my one and only chance, and even though I resisted it greatly and I was afraid for going, I felt I needed somehow to find the courage to make the trip.
You said how many synagogues?
There were 1,300 in Germany, and most of them were destroyed. Almost the same synagogue, only a bit bigger, was destroyed by fire in Bonn. Why doesn't it exist anymore? Because the Nazis went and tore it down. Mm-hmm. Here, they forgot to tear it down. That's why I say this is a Jewish area. The Gartner's house. The Gartner's house, the synagogue, and far in the background there, the Hess house. Frau Henkel, Yeah.
I'm here for the first time actually in Ruppichteroth, where my father was born, where he grew up to be a young man, where my grandmother and grandfather lived, and much of my family. That was unbelievable, actually. My dad grew up there. I mean, after all, it's. I tried to imagine him when I'm walking around the house. I'm seeing him sitting at the table eating. I'm trying to think of where. We didn't know exactly where he was sleeping, but he grew up here. I mean, even just to see that not just that house, but next house was my great-grandfather, and then there's more family, and then Maria. It's been amazing. Our visit to the work camp was, I don't know how to describe it exactly. It was frightening. It was horrible to be there, really.
And this is the area where the camp was. This was a camp where they collected the people from Ruppichteroth, from Waldbröl, from Rhein-Sieg-Kreis, from the county here. And this is what the camp looked like.
And to see that small memorial with the names of so many people who were there, including my grandparents, was actually incredible. I couldn't help but think what it would be what it was like, or what it was like for the people that were there, to just be waiting basically for their train to come and take them to the camps. This is my grandfather, Gustav Gartner. He was 68 years old when he was here. And this is my grandmother, Mathilde Oppenheimer Gartner, and she was 63 when she was here. This is where the camp was. It was right here.
It's not a great.
It's
not,
our grandparents.
It's not ancestry. It's so close.
It's so close. I've often
think of-
thought that it's not ancient history at all. And it's growing up. I think that's why it felt. That's probably a big part of the reason I feel the way I do, is that it was not ancient history. It wasn't something I read about hundreds of years ago. It was, I was born before the war ended.
Yeah.
My feelings about Germans and Germany are probably unfair. I hold even the children and the grandchildren responsible. I understand, of course, that the people I meet today in Germany were born after the Holocaust, or nearly all of them. But the crime was too great that they should be absolved, or they should be free from guilt. So that's what I believe. And I cannot justify it rationally, but it's how I feel emotionally.
These stones are more important that he's placing at homes than any monument, than any museum. This is one. This is like my grandmother, my grandfather. It's like one stone. It's more special. It's more singular. It's more. In Jewish, we call it a mitzvah. It's a good deed times thousands and thousands of mitzvahs he's doing.
It's always difficult to think about what happened, always. And it always will be, and it it should be, but I'm hoping somebody will walk by the next person and just look at the stones and think about what happened and why the stones are there.
Danielle is here, her husband's family.
Hier und ohne die Hilfe.
Ich darf auch nicht mal daran erinnern, dass er das erzählt hat. Das hat er immer wieder sich
These are my grandparents.
Eine Anlaufstelle der persönlichen Erinnerung. Liebe Familie Gartner, lovely family Gartner. Now there is a personal place for your personal memory. It is also a place where you and we can remember your ancestors in dignity and honor. And by doing so, you point out, everybody please remember. never again.
This is my sister Sue. I'm Ron Gartner. Our father was born here in 1908. He lived here with my grandmother and my grandfather, his brother and 3 sisters. We've been very touched by the kindness of everybody here. And we thank you for that. I remember when the Stolpersteiners were set, I'm thinking, oh my God, it was unreal. It was kind of horrific and beautiful at the same time. I think I cried with my sister and hugged her and cried some more. And
And the artist, Mr.
Yeah.
Where's he? Please come.
Thank you so much. It was, on the other hand,
Thank you.
Gunther was kind of magnificent. I remember the hug he gave me, and that was kind of beautiful as well. And it was really important. And it made me know that I had made the right decision to come to Ruppichteroth.
Watching the process, of digging up the earth to put it in, and the idea that it's so permanent, it just makes me feel very, very sad. Makes me feel very good, but it's very, very heart-wrenching, because I think of my dad just being here. This is where, if things had been right, this is where I would be. This is where you would be. This is where I would be living. It's just, it's very special. It's very sad. And I miss my dad a lot when I something like this. It's just a lovely town. It's a lovely, sweet town. And just, you have a beautiful town and a beautiful day, and you think of the evil that happened right here. Doesn't make sense.